I think I think that was their first test in the public of Project
Mm,
Moving, is what I think. They did it right inside the mall, and
mm,
you know they're not limited to the sky, just so people
mm.
know, and they're not limited to just. Uh, these are called holograms. They're not limited to holograms because they can bring ships in Area 51. We've been building saucer ships for longer than most people would believe.
Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Danny, and welcome back to Danny's Place. I'm glad to have each and every person back on here. Once again, if you are watching, I appreciate you for tuning in on this episode, okay? Make sure you like, subscribe, hit that post notification bell, comment in the comment section if you are, if you find anything interesting in the video, go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and have a discussion down there. All right. So today we have an interesting video because today is April the 8th. We had the solar eclipse that passed through here. And that was a big discussion all over the internet, all over the world. And people are having like speculations of what is to come up next. It's all over the place. Everybody's chit chatting all about it. So, there's this channel called Deep Believer. Came across this video of this ex scientist that used to work at Area 51. All right, so he's gonna go ahead and expose some of the secrets and some of the things that the government has been working on, to deceive a lot of people, and that is called Project Bluebeam. I'm pretty sure you guys have heard of that before. As I think they already tested it. They kind of did a thing with it earlier this year about the situation in Miami, and people seeing beings that was 13 feet tall and all that. So that's part of the big great deception. So we're about to go ahead and get into this video now. I want you guys to listen to it, and get some of the things that he's going to reveal. We're not going to watch the full thing. If you do want to go ahead and watch the full thing, the original link will be in the description section, so you can go ahead and check it out there. All right. So yeah, without further ado, I'm not gonna hold this up any longer. Let's go ahead and watch that video. Let's get into it right now.
I couldn't sleep. I was awake when I got that message, so it wasn't a dream. It was a word of knowledge. But you had a dream, I guess.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that was which is really weird because I had it in the middle of the night on January 1st, and I did make a video about that, I think on January 6th of this year. And then when I told you about it, you said I had the same dream, like with the same meaning,
It's a word of
So
knowledge. Yeah.
yeah, so
Yeah.
people can go back
For
and
me, it
watch
was a
my
word of
video,
knowledge.
but what did God show you?
Yeah, he showed me that this is the year of deception, mass deceptions, and then the next day, and we finally got news. We're a little bit early here, so it might have been the second, but or it might have been the third. But we've heard about this Miami Mall thing, which is a big deception type thing. That's that again. What they're planning, just so everybody needs to know this, that we're in the year of deception. There's going to be amazing signs in the sky that are false signs, and they didn't have the capability of doing this until like the early '90s. And this is the dark agencies that the powers that be, the dark agencies. That I have to be careful not to say the wrong word here. Anyway, but there's certain words that YouTube don't allow. So anyway, the dark agencies are up to no good, and basically, I worked at Area 51. I think I'm allowed to say Area 51, and this is back 80. No, it's been early '90s. And one day, most of the time they have you working underground, literally physically underground, so you don't get any good windows. You can't see anything outside. But this particular, for like a week or 2 weeks, we were working in a lab. They have thousands of labs. OERDC, you think, has a lot because they have like 200 labs. Well, Area 51 has like 2,000 or maybe 20,000 labs. It's way up there. Different labs that people working in different projects, all compartmentalized, so that nobody really knows the whole picture unless God shows it to you. Which He always does for me. I know exactly what they're up to. Within a few days, the Lord shows me everything what they're up to. But so we don't work on anything that's going to injure people. But if it's going to help people, like better transportation systems, or better healing systems, or better communication systems, or better protection systems, we work on those. But anyway, so I was working on one of those and classified projects, and we were above ground, and one of the other scientist in the room with me was looking out the window. He said, "Hey, look at this!" And we all went over there, and there were it was first thing I noticed it was quite a few clouds, not as bad as here, but it was quite a few clouds, and in Area 51, it's almost always clear. You almost never see clouds. I mean, it's a few once in a while. It's very rare, but so there's a lot of clouds, and there were. He said, "Look right there, that cloud," and you could clearly see. And then they'd come out, and then they'd go back. Angels and demons fighting with each other. Angels and demons, swords and spears
Wait,
and
okay, this is real. So you were really seeing this. This is not a dream.
well, yeah, it's sort of real. It was actual happened. This
But you were
actually
seeing it.
happened in real life. But the
Uh,
problem is that was an illusion by Project
okay.
Bluebeam. In other words, they literally have the capability as early as the '90s to project things. They were testing and they were demonstrating it for some generals or somebody. Project Bluebeam. Anybody can Google it. It is real. Different people gave their life. Different whistleblowers gave their life to expose this to the American public or to the world public that they have this technology, and they got killed for doing it. And I probably shouldn't mention the guy's name, but if you Google it, you'll figure out who it is pretty quickly.
So,
Uh,
so could you say one more time how? I mean, what you saw? What you
yeah,
saw? Could you?
yeah.
Yeah.
So the clouds, and in the clouds, they'd come out from behind the cloud, but it was angels and demons fighting. They had multiple. In other words, maybe a dozen angels and a dozen demons, but you wouldn't see them all the time because it was in the cloud. They go in and out of the clouds, but it wasn't real clouds, and it wasn't real demons. It wasn't real angels. And the way you know that is when they turned it off. It went off just like that, like a picture, like a TV or a computer. When it finally goes black, just suddenly it's gone. It's clouds don't do that. And clouds don't just suddenly disappear. Angels and demons, maybe, but clouds, no way. So that makes it so they hadn't perfected the system yet for deception, or they needed to fade it out or something, or something, or move it away, or something like this, so they're but now I'm sure they perfected. This is 30 years later, maybe longer, 40 years later, 35 years later.
So where you guys were, it wasn't a lot of light. So was it like windows on top of the walls? Where?
Well, most of the time they make us work underground, literally physically underground.
Okay.
99% of the time when I worked in Area 51, we were underground.
Wow.
And we were doing contracting, by the way. I won't work for them by the hour because they have too much control over you. So we're general specialty contractors or general contractors or consultants or whatever you want to call it. But one for a 2 week period, a short time, we were above ground, and and so it was like a 3 story building we were in, maybe 4 story building, and they just have a few of those, maybe three or four of them in the whole place. And 99% Area 51 is underground, and they have tunnels that connect everything all over the whole world. Honestly, very advanced stuff in Area 51. And so there's lots of secret bases, not just one. There's one right over here actually, and this is the first time I came to this island. I was working in that base, but it's a technology that we had developed that they were trying to they were trying to change it a little bit. I probably shouldn't say too much about it, but anyway, it's there's some of this is still classified. So it's anyway. So they do have Project Bluebeam. That's I'm sure that's still classified, but plenty of other people have talked about it and shown it. So I want people to know for sure that there's fake rapture coming, fake rapture. And a lot of Christians are going to be deceived when they see this. And there's also fake alien invasions coming. And whether they'll combine those two or not at the same time, I don't know. And I know it's also going to be tailor made for the religious, the general idea. Like if some people are mostly Hindus, they're going to see maybe their own gods or whatever, all this stuff. The idea is the mass deception to get in Christianity, let's say, they're going to try to get everybody discouraged. They're going to think that Jesus left them behind. That's their goal, is to get the fake rapture, and Jesus left them behind, and now they're discouraged and they're depressed, and might as well take the mark, or might as well serve the devil, or might as well worship the Antichrist, or whatever it is they're promoting. They're going to be promoting something else, and they're trying to make God, Jesus and Jehovah, the Father, they're trying to make them both out to be evil aliens. I'm sure. In other words, they may not do it all at first, but they're going to do multiple of these in the next few years. In the next 3 years or so, they're going to, maybe 4 years, they're going to do multiple of these type of things. I'm pretty sure about it. Again, this is not a prophecy, but it's prediction, and I will have prophecies later. I do have prophecies also, but this is a prediction regarding the timeline that I think I feel in my spirit also, along with the 1 year, or this 2024 being year of deception, massive deceptions or mass deception, many people seeing something and getting deceived. And the very next day was that alien thing at Miami. So that tells me that it's true that the prophecy I got it by a word of knowledge. Like in 1:30 in the morning, the Lord just suddenly said, "This is the year of." And I was praying. I was basically praying, saying, "Lord, make them stop making noise so I can go to sleep."
But you know what? It's so funny because you mentioned Miami because I didn't know about it either till days later, till people told me. And then I, got on TikTok. Sorry, got on TikTok. And then I listened to people's stories. And then there was this two people who said almost the same thing. They said, I saw this big alien, right? They said, I saw this big alien and it began to twitch in and out. It began to like you saw it, then you didn't. Almost like what you saw, like what you said. Like you
Yeah,
saw the sky, it was
yeah,
aliens and not aliens, angels and demons fighting, and then it began to go on and off. And that's what they said, how it began to go on and off. Like it
yeah,
was there, then it wasn't. It was like it
yeah.
was kind of
So I think that was their first test in the public of Project
mm,
Moving, is what I think. They did it right inside the mall, and
mm,
they're not limited to the sky, just so people
mm,
know, and they're not limited to just. Uh, these are called holograms. They're not limited to holograms because they can bring ships in Area 51. We've been building saucer ships for longer than most people would believe. They can bring ships in and interact at the same time. They can make it look like an alien invasion if they want to, and they are planning that as well. Not just a fake rapture, but alien invasion. The goal of the fake rapture is to get all Christians, many Christians, discouraged and think they got left behind, and think Jesus don't love them, and all this, but there is a real rapture coming, just so everybody knows. Uh, and I'll get into that in a couple minutes. Yeah, people should be wary of this fake stuff. This is a year of fake stuff, and you got that, and I got that, and yeah, you got it by a dream, and I got it by just like a sudden download. It's called a word of knowledge or a word
exactly.
of
And you know what,
yeah,
Tim? A lot of
Well, there you have it. You can see he, basically give some details about this thing and how a lot of it is gonna be deception to try to pull people away from the kingdom. So be wary, like be very beware, or like beware actually of seeing fake things in the sky because that's about to happen. Like all over, you're gonna start seeing alien ships. And it's crazy because I live in Philadelphia, right? And I'm looking at the conditions of the road. I'm looking at the road. They're doing like a lot of road work around here in the city all over where they're like digging up the streets and they're putting stuff in there. They're putting stuff in the streets and covering it back up. I think that probably has to do something has to do with it in a way too. Maybe once they turn up those holograms and stuff like that, they'll be able to shoot out the ground, work with the satellites that they're putting all over the country and stuff like that, so that people can be deceived. I just want to encourage you guys that we are in the last days. This is the age of deception, so the enemy is out, deceiving as much people as he can. Let's go ahead and stay at God's feet, stay in the Word, stay in prayer, stay in fasting, and continually, worship Him in spirit and in truth, and He will expose each and every deeds of the enemy. All right. Now, guys, if you want to go ahead and check out the full video, it is in the description section. You can go ahead and check it out yourself. And then also, before I do go, want to let you know that I have a song out right now called Exposing Demons, featuring Damage Jones and Dorcas Saforo. My artist name is DNG. You can find it on Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes, wherever you get your music at. Since this is the year of exposure, I'm also exposing demons. Okay, so listen to that tune. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit the post notification bell, and we'll definitely be seeing y'all in the next one. You have a wonderful night. Deuces.